Hi there, Loy Machedo. Sweeney, you from LoyMachedo.com. Who's Loy Machedo and Think Personal Branding? All right. Today's session, we are going to have just a few updates. One is international news related to US and China. Next one is UAE and a bit of stuff that expats have sent to me. Okay. As usual, timestamps are put down below. If you wish to contact me, details are put down below. Comment whatever you like. I never censor the comments. I've told you that before. However, if you abuse the system of YouTube, its new AI, it blocks your comments. So it's nothing related to what I'm doing. Then with regards to jobs, many of you have been asking me, just send me your CV, send a proper covering letter, put your take it or leave it salary. And I've told you, clients who pay me money and ask for CVs, I send it to them, but make sure that the subject line states what category. So it's easier for me to search and forward your CV. I don't take any payments for this. Clients have already paid me. And for those of you who'd like to support my channel, I know many of you have been asking for me to create a Patreon account. I just feel that, my PayPal is put down below. Just, go there and just make the payment. Whatever you support, I appreciate. Okay. So let's move on to the headlines. The first one that I want to highlight is President Trump telling reporters accompanying him that he's decided to block the application of TikTok in the United States from Saturday. Now, US has been working very hard to block Huawei, to block TikTok, to block apps. Now, India's jumped the bandwagon. Now you have UK, you have Europe. Now, what do I think about this? I just feel that US is trying to bully China. It's a political game, and United States wants a reason and excuse to be the best at everything. Now, they are highlighting Huawei. Now, 5G there are so many other companies that are doing 5G. Why are they only focusing on China? There are so many companies that have apps. Why are they only focusing on China? Now, US is saying that China is spying. Well, we know for a fact, and this has been proven through not only documentaries, that the United States itself is spying on its citizens. So why are we ignoring that? I just feel this is going to come and bite US in the ass. You're going to have China. You're going to have China, Russia. You're going to have all these countries that do not support US. They will gang up together and they will make sure that they become the best. You cannot bully countries forever. And I just feel US is shooting itself in the foot by doing this. China is going to get back. They're not going to forget. They're not going to forget this. And don't think for a minute that other countries are just looking and keeping quiet. Other countries are paying attention to what's going on. And this is just going to spiral out of control and create a Cold War. That's at least my opinion. You can give me yours. I just feel China has been portrayed as the bad guys, while the fact of the matter is there's no one who's a saint. That's at least my opinion. Okay. Then Microsoft is in talks to purchase TikTok. And I think if Microsoft does purchase TikTok, then in the end, it's once again monopoly, US going bigger. So, I just find this whole game of US disgusting, because if, for example, let's say it was an individual, let's say US was a person, China was a person, we would call this bullying. This is nothing but bullying. US wants to be the best, hook or by crook, and they just fabricate these stories where they just want to push their agenda. Best example I can give you is weapons of mass destruction. They made such a big noise about it. Okay. And when are the weapons of mass destruction? And I just hate this, and I'm glad that I'm not into politics, because it would have driven me crazy. I guess you need to like this kind of game. Okay, moving on. We have Oman cancels a major project with the UAE company, and if you read what it says is Oman has cancelled a major project with UAE worth billions of dollars. Arab sources have highlighted the growing tension between both the countries. Oman's new Sultan, that is Haytham bin Tariq Al Said, said to have issued the order to reduce Abu Dhabi's grip on his country's affairs. The recent termination of the contract between UAE-owned Damak International and Umran, the investment arm of Oman's tourism ministry, led to the speculation that bin Tariq, who took over from his cousin in January following the death of Sultan Qaboos, is slowly moving away from the position of neutrality on the regional geopolitical matter and was maintained carefully by his predecessor. Damak International oversaw major projects in Oman, including the development of Sultan Qaboos Port. In 2017, the UAE arm was awarded the contract to turn the area into a tourism investment destination. Arab sources have speculated that the Emirati companies will incur a loss of $400 billion dollars worth of losses for the cancellation of such contracts. Such deals include construction of major projects all over the Middle East. Actually, this narrative I've been seeing not only with Oman, it's also with countries like Africa. They're being pretty vocal about this. I'm also seeing, other Middle East countries. I don't know what's happening, why they're breaking up, but I can, on one hand, you can see US building bridges with Israel and US. On the other hand, UAE's relationship with the US and Europe is deteriorating. Now, it's completely changing the structure of how the relationship once was. Once you had Qatar, Bahrain, Saudi, Oman, all these countries were together. Israel was a bad guy. US was an outsider. Now, ever since the blockade started, ever since Saudi's ambitions started to grow, ever since UAE wanted to be this major superpower, especially with Expo 2020, the whole structure has just been messed up. And I don't know, this doesn't look very nice. You can tell me, what do you think? I'm pretty sure this news will not be mentioned in any of the UAE papers. Okay. Next one. This one was written to me by an expat. I obviously will censor the name. He's saying, "Hi, Loy, you need to watch this. One of B.R. Shetty's partners is MBZ's brother, that is Mohammed bin Zayed, who's a ruler of Abu Dhabi. You'll be shocked how Al Jazeera got the information. That is why UAE wants it shut down." So I'll put the link in the description down below. This is the documentary which you need to have a look. Very interesting, well-researched, and the subtitles are in English. Okay, the next letter that I got is from a person who's working in UAE Exchange. I'll read out the letter. I have censored the name. "Hello, brother. We are staying in UAE for the last 6 years. My husband is working with UAE Exchange for the last 9 years. It's almost 3 months. UAE Exchange staff is not getting any salary. They told us they will give the salary for the next 5 months, but they have not provided anything. Can you imagine a family of 3 members, me and my husband and my little daughter, living in UAE without any single salary, any single money for 3 months? We need food, house rent, medicine, school fees, and lots of other expenses. There is no answer from anyone from UAE Exchange, and we are hopeless. Flight costs are very high, and we cannot move also. Even we have asked for arrange flight ticket only for us. We don't need salary or money, anything. We just want to die in our country also. There is no answer from UAE Exchange. I don't know anyone in UAE, media personality or news agent, or any government officials. But I always watch your videos, and I am your big fan. That's why I'm writing this mail to you. Please, brother, as an elder brother, please share this news with your any media friends or officials in the UAE to help us, lots of other staff of UAE Exchange, out of this big crisis. Please, brother, help us save our life. We are dying here. Please don't disclose my info, as I am in my husband's visa and my husband will be in trouble for me." So this is what was given. In fact, one of the other messages that I happen to share with you is I got this information, which I put in my previous video. It seems UAE Exchange, NMC, Finabler staff, they are staying in a particular area. They're not being paid, and they are being bundled up and being sent back without their remuneration or without their salaries being given. In some cases, they're even being told, if you don't sign, you're in trouble. So I just got one message from a person. They're very afraid. I haven't got anyone else. My only request to the UAE authorities is, just send them back. Send them back in a nice way, like for those who are ready to sign the dotted line. And in some ways, I really feel sad, because many people have worked for 6 years, 1 year. In fact, the ones I really feel bad about is those people who work for 23 years, 25 years, 30 years, and they are not going to get their end of salary benefits and end of service benefits. And, imagine 30 months salary, that is 2 years, 3 years salary, you're losing it. That can really destroy someone, and not being paid for months and months. I don't know how they are surviving. So if you have any information with regards to this, please send it across to me. I don't wish anyone anything bad. And the last I did come to know is B.R. Shetty, all his businesses, all his accounts, everything, all his money is being taken over by governments. Yes, I am pretty aware of the fact that he has offshore accounts which are not audited or not, there's no records for this. He's a smart businessman. He is not going to put all his eggs in one basket. And I'm pretty sure he knew that his empire was crashing down. So before that would happen, he would have made sure that he has kept his money safe. So, but yeah, it's the end of a legacy. It's the end of a man who was once respected, revered, and looked up to, who got multiple awards from the Indian and UAE governments, was considered a legend. And, now it's gone to the dogs. And I don't wish him anything bad. I don't wish anything bad for him and his family. But yeah, I feel sad for those people who have been employees, families who are depending on this company. So I just wish they get justice. So let me know your thoughts. If you know any information, keep me updated. Next one. This one is the person has given me his name as Concerned Soul. I've hidden his email address. This is what he says. Loy, hi Loy, I wanted to send you this email to let you know that expats who are departing from Dubai for their hometowns are facing heavy fines for overstaying their expired visas caused by job losses due to the pandemic. Dubai was the first emirate to announce amnesty for expats with expired visas who lost their jobs when the pandemic hit in February until the end of the year 2020. But then again, the problem with the UAE, they keep changing their rules. They make the rule today in February, they'll change it in March, then they'll make something else in May. Before when the pandemic was at its started off, they said, you don't need to worry, we'll keep you in the country all the way till 2020. You don't have to pay any fines. You don't need to extend your visa. Then all of a sudden, a few weeks ago, they said, no, those whose visas are expired, you have to leave and you'll have to pay fines. I mean, the problem is you keep changing your laws, your rules. People will stop trusting you. It's not good for the country. It's not good for the leadership. It shows, it's like being in a relationship where the person says, I love you today, tomorrow I don't love you. Third day it says, I want to be with you. And next day it says, no, I don't want to be with you. I mean, what the hell is this? This is stupidity. Then it says, since then, we have kept updating the months when expats without a job or expired visa can stay in the country. The latest I've heard was either end of July or August 2020. But when expats finally get to leave, they are charged 2,480 AED dirhams per person if they foresee a future back in UAE. And if they declare at the airport they will never return, they are still charged a hefty 980 dirhams per person. Friends of mine who were booked to exit to the Philippines back on May 28th with Emirates, only to be notified several times that their flight has been cancelled and they were subsequently rescheduled. My friends finally exited on July 29 to Clark, Philippines. They were booked to fly to Manila, but they were cancelled yet again and opted for Clark instead. After they arrived at the airport in Dubai, they were told they had to pay the fines for overstaying expired visas or else they were not going to be checked in. They opted for 980 dirhams option as they didn't have much money to begin with. This is really sad to hear that expats who are in dire straits, who have lost their jobs and are returning to their home countries, are being made to pay these enormous fees before they're allowed to check into their various flights. Like they say in Gulf, haram wallah. I don't know if other expats have sent you similar emails advising of the same. The problem is, end of the day, this is what I tell people is UAE is not a place that is charitable. It is not your friend. They are not there to look after you. It's just business. It's plain, cold, hard cash business. When you're useful, they'll keep you there. When you're useless, they'll tell you fuck off. And when you do leave, they'll make sure they take every drop iota from you. So, this is how it is. the faster you realize this, the better it is. In fact, I just spoke to one of my friends who was an ex-City banker. This is at the age of 20 when I worked there. This person was one of the top salesperson in Citibank. They were there at the right time, right place. Even any housewife, even any, most of the housewives were there. There were almost 180 salespeople when I was there in Citibank during the credit cards boom phase. Every housewife was able to just get customers and clients just like this. Just talking to a guy, you could issue credit cards. And it was like, giving free sweets. Anyone could get a credit card. And you're talking of these women making 50,000, 55,000 per month in commissions. However, after the peak just fizzled off, all these so-called talented salespeople, they found it very hard. They found it impossibly hard to sell. All these bankers were there in Citibank. I don't want to take their name. I'll just give you the first alphabet, J, J, S. These people who were there, they became from sales executive, they became team leaders, they became managers, and they were employed with many banks. They enjoyed a tremendous success, financial position. Many of them, the egos went up to their heads. They thought they're invincible. They thought they were great professionals. Today, however, they are ending up with nothing. And very soon they will lose their jobs. And after they lose their jobs, they're not going to get any jobs because they were only good for hustling, And banking in the Middle East, especially in UAE, was nothing but shameless selling. It was literally begging, pleading, chewing people's brains. It was nothing professional. It was just doing a job, a process. So very soon they will lose their jobs because nobody is going to invest money. Nobody wants to spend money. They will realize that their so-called charm, their so-called persuasiveness is totally useless. Even being a team leader, just putting a big fat ass on other salespeople and threatening them, either do it or I'll terminate you, it doesn't work. That's not leadership. That's bloody bullying. And these people are going to end up losing their jobs. They're going to end up with nothing. And very soon, they're going to only remember their glory days. That's what's going to happen to all these bankers. So that is why those of you who are working in banks, airlines, tourism, and these outlets which were selling stuff to tourists, especially in shopping malls, you better look out for other jobs. Others, you're going to be in serious trouble. Like I always tell people, when you have a job, apply for other jobs. Once you lose your job, you're going to be jacked. Okay? And nobody is going to care a damn. Last but not the least, this was from one of my friends who's working for the government in UAE. He says, he gave me this tweet. He said, new taxes and fees are coming to the Emirates. And he sent me this link, the screenshot. So this is an Arabic Twitter account. It's @without_shadow. He's also, I don't know, he has contacts and connections in the government. He said new taxes and fees are coming to the Emirates. And when I spoke to my friend who's working for UAE government, what he said is they're going to have a test run, like how they had the Salik. They had one Salik and then they tested it out. Then they had another Salik and slowly they said, no, we are not going to give you extra charges. It's going to be fixed no matter how many times you travel. Then they increased it slowly. Then they had more Salik. Then they had more charges. So in the same way, new taxes are coming out. New fees are coming out. New hidden fees are coming out. And for those of you who are wondering, why is this going to happen? Because the next tweet, I think, gives you the whole picture. What it says here is Dubai treasury is empty, which is very obvious because Dubai, how does it have money? Dubai has money is when there are people coming to invest in the country. If they don't have investments, obviously, they're not going to make any money. It's not that there are no more investors. There are plenty of investors who are still coming to UAE. But people are very cautious because the rules keep changing. So people with lots of black money, they're going to come there and invest because UAE has made it very clear. Listen, even if you are, whatever you are, when you come to UAE, just keep it clean. See, if for those of you who keep doubting me, here's my simple question. These news articles come out from Gulf News and Khalij Times that they caught this underworld guy, this kingpin, this smuggler, this mafia guy. My question to you is, how the hell did they enter the country in the first place if they are suddenly caught? Why did you allow these underworld, this mafia, these people wanted in Interpol to enter the country in the first place? The reason why they're there in the first place is because they know it's a haven where black money can be converted to white. And you can stay safe as long as you don't make any noise. But they are being betrayed because the other countries are putting pressure. They're saying, you better, hand over this guy or we're going to blacklist you. So UAE has no other choice. So UAE has to focus on what's benefiting the country. Keep in mind, for those of you who keep thinking that, UAE is filled with black money, every country in this world has black money. Black money makes the world go round. There is no country in this world that has a perfectly clean record. Okay? And it is impossible to have only white money. And for those of you who are a little less in the head, for those who just want to jump, he's being racist, black money, white money, that's a term. I'm not trying to, there was one comment, one guy said, what do you mean black money? Black money is evil. Why is not white money evil? It's just a term. I'm not trying to say, anything racist. Some of you need to grow up. Okay? So you need black money to make countries go round. There's never going to be politics without corruption. There's never going to be a world without sin. So this is required. But the problem is how you play the game. And right now, UAE doesn't have that luxury of dictating terms and conditions. Like I told you, UAE's treasury is empty. Abu Dhabi is no longer helping UAE. They're completely broken apart. The only way UAE can earn money now is through inviting people who have lots of black money come and invest, because Expo 2020 is also not happening. But that doesn't mean investment has stopped. But now the next phase, which I told you, is taxes and hidden charges, fines, and other charges that you'll have to pay. And for those of you who have your savings and money in local bank accounts, whether it's Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi, Oman, those of you who have money saved in a bank account, I recommend you put it in an international strong bank. Otherwise, if they want to, change their policies or their laws, or they say you cannot withdraw, you're in deep shit. I know some people who suddenly found out that the banks were charging them hidden charges. So please be aware of this. Check your bank balances. And last, if not the least, please make sure that you don't fall for scams. There are plenty of scams, recruitment scams, documents. Check the website, check the browser. Make sure that you use original, authentic software. Don't click on any links. There's plenty of scam going on, plenty of hackers, and plenty of fake job offers. I really hope you don't fall for all that bullshit. And finally, last but not least, this was sent to me by my friend. He said, Loy, see, Dubai is giving special offer. And it seems this Samsung, which was 6,999, special offer is 6,998. So these are the special offers in UAE at the moment. Okay. So this is what I wanted to share with you. Let me know your thoughts. I love to hear from you. This is me signing off. You guys take care.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying, or by magic, through others, or by a fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Machedo is the best.